Hey everyone, welcome to is technically a lazy lesson, I guess. It's in the same style, but I might as well call it a lazy lesson. Why not? Screw it. Alright, well, what I'm going to go over right now is the Season 3 changes that went with Geef. Now, obviously, it's been a little while, and we saw the changes like a little over a month back now. I wanted to wait a bit, let the dust settle, see how everything pans out before making a video like this. Because not only do I want to talk about the changes themselves, but I want to talk about changes I personally think I would make to try to soften the blow of this this whole nerf train they got going on Geef right now. Now, I'm gonna jump right in this right away because actually wait, before I even jump into it, I'm not gonna be talking about V-Trigger 2 at all. If you want to know my thoughts on V-Trigger 2 and some stuff involving that, there's a different video for that actually. So if you want to look at that, I'll just put it in the description. You'll see it. All right. Now, the first thing I'll show is Stand Light Punch. For people who don't know exactly what it was talking about, is that the hitbox got nerfed on it a little bit, so it's not as good as an anti-air. So I don't want to spend too long showing that off, but basically, if you try using Stand Light Punch as an anti-air, it's not going to 100% like beat out every single button in the sky now. You're going to have to either time it correctly or know when to use it. The second thing though, which I can show you really easily, is that when you hit someone with it, this is point blank, they go farther away. Now, so like, if you hit them from like here, I can't like walk up heavy SPD because they're really far away. Now, I don't really have any real thoughts on this because it's like the anti-air jab thing was a universal nerf overall. Obviously, anti-air jabs still work to an extent, but they're not as good as they were. Geef and Dalsum had like the best one. Oh, actually no. Well, I don't think Dalsum. Geef had one of the best ones. I think Jury and Nikali had good ones too, and I'm pretty sure Dalsum had a good one as well. So trying to nerf this button as an anti-air is obviously like impossible to do. It's gonna anti-air, but they just made it not as good. Obviously, if you hit them out of the air, you can still do mix-ups. Like you can still get headbutt and stuff. It's just not going to be guaranteed like point blank, you know, they have to guess like that. It's a universal change. It's kind of whatever. It happened to it like changes that happen to everyone. I'm just kind of okay with. It's just something that hurts Geef. All right, next thing is that Stand Light Kick got 3 frames more recovery. Now, that by itself is not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, it's a nerf. It sucks. But the bigger problem is, if you want to, I'll show you here, is they bugged it. They only said they wanted to change the recovery, right? But they didn't give it any more hit or block stun. So before it used to be +2 on hit. Now, if you look on the top there, it's now -1 on hit, which means it should be -3 on block. So it is now a light button that is -3. So, you know, that's really shitty. The only change I'd want to make to this is for them to fix that. If they're not going to revert nerfs, because I don't want to ask Capcom, I don't want to sit here and complain to Capcom like, oh, you know, revert everything and buff my character. I want to look at this with what can we do to at least soften the blow or think of other ways to make it like, you know, not just straight nerfs. Obviously, the only thing I got for this is just fix this bug. This shouldn't be -1 on hit, -3 on block. Just fix that. That's all I got for that. Crouch Light Punch. Oh god, this is a doozy. I'm gonna turn this off real quick. There we go. Now, Crouch Light Punch got a bunch of nerfs to it. It was a worse button overall. It is now a worse button overall. 1 less active frame. 2 frames more total. So now it's just like easier to whiff punish, which I mean, whiff punishing a jab is still going to be hard regardless, but anyways. It's now also +3 on hit instead of +4. Which means that if I do this, you can now no longer do 2 jabs in the lariat. Now, obviously you can still do Crouch Light Kick, Crouch Light Punch lariat, right? And that still works. Still combo. The problem with that, though, is that that is inconsistent among the cast. Now, I think it works on Ryu regardless. Let's double check if it works on Ryu. Because I'm pretty sure it works on him. But we'll see. Oh, no more recovery. Yeah, okay. See, because right there, right? Oki after SPD is super, super important to Geef. And 2 jabs into lariat after that worked on pretty much everyone. But yeah, see? If they try avoiding it with a backdash or a... Do you see the problem here? It sucks. That it is inconsistent Oki, which is the problem Geef had in Season 1. That is one of the biggest reasons of why that is such a huge nerf of it being +3 now. The second thing involving that nerf is that because it's now +3 on hit, counter hit means it's +5, which means this in a crouch jab and a crouch medium punch no longer works. Again, you can still do crouch light kick and a crouch medium punch, so you can get this combo. But the problem with that is, let's see, guard recovery. Here's a 3-frame move. Crouch light kick is +2 on block, right? Crouch medium punch is a 6-frame move. So, if I do... Oh, wait, he's not how to set up. So if I do crouch jab and a crouch medium punch, right? It counter hits. Because there's a 3-frame gap. That whole deal. Because this is +2 on block, you can't do that. Obviously, you can still do jab, but you can't really get much off that. Now, the one compensation buff we got for this was jab now does 10 more damage. Which is kind of whatever. See, now it does 40, which means it should do 58 on counter hit. Or 48, I mean. Yeah, 48 on counter hit. I mean, it makes that combo just slightly more damage. Which is, in my opinion, not good enough of a compensation. That's a huge nerf. That's really bad. Like, really, really bad. It is... Geef, his best poking button, and also his best thing to have after SPD got nerfed, and there was no actual compensation for it whatsoever. That is basically, like, that is number one, the biggest change here for Geef. Right? Now, the only, I'd want them to, like, revert the hurt box change for sure, and that +4, bring it back to +4. If they're not going to do that, the only change I would want them to do, again, thinking with the mentality that they're not going to revert anything, right? So the change I'd want them to do is allow you to chain crouch light punch, right? Because you can't chain this. And for people who don't know, chaining a normal just means being able to mash the heck out of it, and then you... Oh, whoops, that is the wrong... Be able to mash the heck out of it. Like, Ryu... Yeah, see, like, you can just mash this button, and it combos, right? You cancel the recovery into another jab. Now... Because if you... I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, see? Ryu can do... Ryu's crouch light kick is like +1 on hit or something like that, if I remember correctly. So if you try to linking this, it doesn't work. But you can chain it. So being able to chain Geef's crouch jab would still keep the nerf of not being able to do crouch medium punch, but it would still allow him to do 2 jabs in the lariat, which would keep, keep that. Because in Street Fighter V, if you don't know, oh, oops, if I don't mess it up, you can cancel chain normals into specials. This is not Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 5, you can cancel the chain normal into a special move. Into etc. So if you allowed Geef to be able to chain his crouch jab, he would still be able to do lariat after it. Hopefully, that... I don't think it'd be enough to. It might. I'd have to see it in action. All right, but let's move on to the next thing. Crouch light kick. It said the hurt box was changed, I believe. Hurt box or something. I don't remember. I don't remember if it was a nerf or not. I'm pretty sure it might have been a slight nerf, but they also made it so you can't special cancel it. Now, nobody was doing crouch light kick and a running bear grab really, because back in season 2 they made a change specifically so that if you cancel a move into crouch light kick, it takes 2 frames longer, which would, you know, make it, I guess, so that running bear grab worked okay. But nobody was really doing crouch light kick and a running bear grab, and nobody was doing, like, obviously you couldn't combo an SPD before. The change, in my opinion, was mainly for V-Trigger 2, because doing crouch light kick and a V-Trigger, doing a low into V-Trigger 2, a low confirm, because you can still combo 2 of these. I guess 2 lows into V-Trigger 2 SPD was considered too powerful for Capcom, so they just got rid of that change altogether. Now, they said you can't special cancel it. That was specifically what the change said. Now, but... Whoops. You can no longer super cancel it either, though. I'll put on input display just so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to cancel the super, and it will not let me do it. That was you can link into super though, because crouch light kick is +4 on hit, so you can link into it. So I don't know. They really misjudged how powerful V-Trigger 2 would be. Just judging off these changes. I would hope they would revert this. If not, at least make it so you can super cancel it, because I don't know why they made it so you can't super cancel it anymore. I like doing 2 crouch light kicks into super. You can, doing crouch jab. You can still do that. If I wasn't really bad at it. Anyways, I'm not gonna keep practicing. You get my point. Crouch heavy punch was made a better anti-air, and jump heavy punch, jump heavy kick, and body press were made slightly better as jump-ins. Now, all of these changes were specifically to make it so that anti-air jabs and like unorthodox anti-airs, I shouldn't even say just anti-air jabs, just any unorthodox anti-air was made worse, including, you know, Zangief stand punch. So it's a universal change that affected different people's buttons depending on what their anti-air button was. So Zangief crouch heavy punch is a better anti-air overall. Right? I can't really show you too well. See how how far it goes? Here, let me see if I can do this. Yeah, obviously it's still not like. See, there we go. Whoops. It works pretty well. Obviously, you can still do lariat as well for anti-cross-up. It's just a universal change. It's just made so that you can beat anti-air jabs easier, and also so you can beat people's jump-ins easier with crouch heavy punch. So if you want to anti-air, this is better than stand jab now. Crouch heavy punch is the better button. Obviously, stand jab is faster. So if you freeze for half a second and he's like next to you, you can just still try anti-air with this or with lariat or something. Keep in mind that crouch heavy punch and lariat both have the same startup. So crouch heavy punch is technically better, but lariat also has the slight invincibility on the top. And obviously for anti-cross-up, you still do lariat. But use this button more. It's a good button. It's nice. I like it. Knee hammer. It was changed so that it has 3 frames more recovery. So now it's like, I'm pretty sure that's how it's changed, wasn't it? Yeah. Now it takes a really long time to do this. But the hitbox, or not the hitbox, the frame advantage was changed, or was not changed, sorry. So it's still +3 on hit and -3 on block. And you can, if you get a counter hit, you can still do that. So that's cool. I guess people hated his knee hammer, even though his knee hammer was 28 frames total normally. Now it's 31 frames total, which is 6 frames slower than his forward dash. So like, if you look at the speed difference, like his dash is way faster and goes farther. I guess just knee hammer was like it's supposed to be a move that, well, A, can beat lows, beat most lows, and it's supposed to act as like a dash with a hitbox on it. The change I'd personally want to see to it is two things: either make the hitbox better on it, because right now it is actually a really bad button to try to beat out. Like, unless it's specifically a low, because like if Zangief, actually no, here, let's crouch. Let's put you doing this. Like if Ryu's doing this, right? Crouch medium kick. If he's doing this button, I do that, right? I did not beat that button because knee hammer has a good hitbox. I beat that button because knee hammer has no hurtbox on the bottom part. It's specifically meant to beat lows like that, like Zangief, or like Ryu crouch medium kick. The thing is though is that if you try other buttons against it, like let's try this one. Like, it's not going to do very well. Oh, well, actually, I beat it clean there. It's a very small hitbox. See? It doesn't work very well. I'd personally like to see it have a better hitbox on it, so it can actually have a chance to beat out other buttons. It's either that, or make it more plus on hit. Either +4 or maybe even +5. I'd personally probably just see +4. Just so that I have the chance to do like this into that. You can kind of get it if you hit it, because it's hard to do, but like that, it hits meaty later on. But being able to do that combo all the time would be very useful. You don't have to do both changes, just one or the other. If I had to pick one, I'd definitely want to see the better hitbox on it, because this having a better hitbox on it would make it so that matchups like Dalsum and Minot will be a little bit easier. Because this button is really goddamn useless in those matches. Like, forward medium kick, I mean, it has some uses, but like, loses to a lot of buttons. Anyways, we'll move on. The SPD nerf was universal. I mean, it sucks, but I got no opinion on it. Just if you whiff SPD, then you know you have a better chance of being punished. 8 frames more recovery. Although I will say, keep in mind, if you're fighting a command grab character, if you jump back from a command grab, you can like walk forward and punish easier now. I'm pretty sure Zangief could like, could he dash forward SPD? Probably not. Yeah. V-Trigger 1. Let's see. Yeah, the V-Trigger 1, here, I'll show this super quick. Where's the meter thing? It's right here. Nope, that's the wrong meter. Critical gauge. There. So V-Trigger 1 now builds meter when it hits, which is again a universal change. It doesn't build a whole lot, but it builds some. See, if you do that, if you just do the suction, it doesn't build anything. But just keep in mind that that exists now. So it's like, it's one of the things you have to watch out for, because it's like, if you're at this much meter right here, before, you just had to do, if you do heavy punch into V-Trigger, you just had to do, you know, a reset or like just stand heavy punch or something. You couldn't do EX air SPD. Now, if you pay attention to it, it's like you can do this. Oh, you built meter. All right, now you can do this. Bam. And then do whatever reset you want or mix up. So that's a universal change. A lot of characters' V triggers do that. Just be mindful of that, because you know you want free damage. So take the free damage if you can. I'm gonna. Sorry. I don't have like a real script or anything. I just have notes, right? And I wrote these notes a little while ago. And uh, for parry, it just says, "I don't know, man. Please just remove." Apparently, that was my thoughts on it while uh, writing this up. All right, before I go into parry though, the other thing is his lariat. His lariat got 5 frames more recovery on it, which why I have no idea. Instead of being minus 33 on block, now it's minus 38 on block. If someone was having problems punishing lariat, whoever was having problems punishing lariat, let me know. I would actually, no joke, I would seriously like to know which people were having whether it's a pro player or a random Joe or someone watching this video. I want to know who was actually having problems punishing Geef lariat, because even before this nerf, if Geef, let's see if I can do this actually. I'll see if I can block this. Oh, yeah, see? That's a punish, right? And even before the nerf, you were able to do that. So now it is worse to go through fireballs with it. And obviously if you do something like this, right? Instead of being plus 12 on quick rise, instead of being plus 17 on quick rise, now you're plus 12 on quick rise, which means you're plus 17 on back rise. And the biggest nerf that comes out of this, though, to the people who don't know, is Geef can get meaty setups with his V-Trigger 1, right? So anti-iron with Lariat used to be able to get meaty setups. See if I could... Oh yeah, I can set him to block on wake up, right? Pretty sure I can. Yeah, see? Even if I set him to back recovery. Oh, it didn't even reach him. He got hit by it. It's kind of hard to... Oops. Yeah, see, I was instead of being -6, I was -4, whereas normally I'd be +1 there, or even yeah, I'd be +1 there, or +2 sometimes, depending on if I did it right, depending on how high in the air they were. I could be up to like +4 or something like that. But now you can't really do that. Now it doesn't work. So that's one meaty setup that's gone now. Obviously, I don't understand why this is actually the most confusing nerf in this entire list. Because the jab, like, whether I agree with it or not, I can kind of understand where they're coming from. Like the stand light kick thing, not the bug part, but like crouch light punch, crouch light kick, the knee hammer thing. Like, I can understand where it's coming from. This lariat nerf, I do not actually understand. I do not know why it is here, but we have to live with it for a while. Or play Abigail. I don't know, your choice. Yeah, it's just get rid of it. Like, I don't have any actual... The only thing you could really do with Lariat is, like, add a different version. Give him short Lariat, or... Some people asked for EX Lariat back in Season 1. I don't know. I don't know how EX Lariat would work, but I'm not saying add that. Short Lariat would be a good idea. But hopefully this change just gets reverted. If it doesn't, then, well, it sucks to be Geef. Alright, parry. Okay, well, parry definitely did get a lot better. I have to pause to double check all the changes. Alright, so startup decreased from 4 to 2, stun increased by 50, the command was changed, reduced recovery by 10 frames, you cannot special cancel it into it anymore. Yeah, so before they made it, yeah, see, like, here, I'll put key display on so you can see this. Before, you could special cancel into it, which was obviously a dumb idea because you would never do that because it wouldn't do anything. But see, like, now if I try to do it, it doesn't work. Here, I'll even, like... Cannot special cancel into it. Oops. The command was changed to 2 punch buttons instead of just 1. So there you go. It's a lot faster. Here's the thing, is that parry... Yeah, please just remove. I see that on the corner of my eye on my notes. Parry is a move that nobody asked for, nobody expected, and nobody wants. The problem I have with parry isn't even the fact that it was bad, or the fact that it might even still be bad. It's the fact that it ate up buffs that he could have gotten somewhere else. Geef could have got buffs in literally any other area, but they decided to buff his parry instead. That is the problem I have with it. The only change I have for parry is please get rid of it. Please get rid of it and buff him in a different area. I do not want it to be better. I do not want it to be worse. I do not want it to be changed. I personally just want it to be gone. I do not like it. It is funny to land, don't get me wrong. And the animation for it is funny too. Geef doing jazz hands, that's cool. But I would prefer my character to be good than to have this. The main reason why parry is bad is because it's too situational. It doesn't matter if they make it 2 frames, which they did. It doesn't matter if they make it 1 frame. It's the fact that it works on so little moves. I have Ryu here as my dummy. If I'm fighting a Ryu, there's 2 things it works on, which is his stand medium kick and his Tatsu. So if I'm fighting a Ryu is never going to do raw Tatsu ever, so that is out of the question. So the only option is the stand medium kick, right? Is that move right there. See, that's what just happened right there. Even if I had the read, I got hit and I got counter hit for it. So you have this move that this is turning into a complaint about V-Trigger. This is turning about a big old rant about parry than an actual discussion. But let me get this off my chest super quick, I guess. You have this move that does 220 damage and 300 stun. That is very respectable. That is very good. And now it gives no Oki. Look how far away I am. It is a move that works on 2 little things. Now, obviously, they're not going to get rid of parry because it's in the game now and they're changing it. So I highly, highly doubt they're going to actually remove it. So if I want to if I want to think of actual constructive criticism of what they should do with this move, is just make it work on more kicks. Make it work on more types of kicks. Whether it's like jumping, yeah, like if it works on like some characters jump heavy kicks even. Or if it works on, I don't know, what's a random example? Karen stand heavy kick. A move that it probably should work on. Just slightly expand what it should work on. And maybe make it so that I'm not full screen after using it. How far away he goes. That's really dumb. Anyways. Geef is not in the best spot right now. That is a given. Hopefully you can look at this video and see what these changes mean for him. And if you still want to play Geef, I mean, even if you don't want to play Geef, that's fine. You know, enjoy the game as you will. But do not look at Geef as an SPD machine that once he gets in, you know, it's over. And that can still happen. Geef did not get nerfed technically in his SPD mix-up game, aside from the jab thing with the inconsistent combo. Which, you know, keep in mind, the reason why Season 1 Geef was so bad is because he had inconsistent combos, and now he has that back again. So, I'm just saying. I don't really know how to end this video, do I? I'm still gonna play him. But, you know, that's just me. I'm gonna just wait for G. Alright. Thanks for watching.